Hey friends! Welcome to another vlog from me. I was thinking about something earlier today and something that came to me, that's something that I think a lot of people in my life recently have voiced, and there's no coincidence with people, everything happens for a reason, is how to deal with expectations from other people have for you. So here's a little backstory about me. My whole entire life, I always begin with my whole entire life. Well, as a child growing up, if anyone is Southeast Asian, Indian, they can relate with me. My parents had the expectation of me being a doctor. And since I was brought up in that environment and everyone around me was a doctor and all my friends were going to be a doctor, I thought I wanted to be a doctor too because that's all I knew, right? So here I thought I was going to be a doctor. I even was a pre-med biology major in college, and I was just set on the path to be a doctor. And I wanted to be a pediatric oncologist and help children fighting cancer. And the reason that I chose that path now, today, I can say that because that was expected of me. That was what was expected, to be a doctor, to go to medical school, to have this secure career that guaranteed an X amount of money, that guaranteed you were going to be well off and could afford a nice house and a nice car. And that had nothing to do with passion, purpose, what ignited you, what moved you, what you felt like were called to do. And I had to come to terms with this my sophomore year in college when I started taking these classes, and I realized that it didn't ignite a fire within me. It didn't move me. It didn't make me feel excited. I couldn't imagine myself getting up every single morning, going to a hospital, telling people they were sick and that they had an X amount of time to live, and prescribing them a bunch of man-made medicines in pharmaceutical companies that were, in the long run, deteriorating their bodies, not really enriching their bodies. I couldn't imagine myself doing that, so I had to get real with myself, and this was probably one of the most scariest things I've ever had to do, was tell my parents that I did not want to be a doctor. And it was a really, really, really tough time period for me because I didn't know what I did want to do. I couldn't say, okay, mom and dad, I don't want to be a doctor, but this is what I do want to do. I had no idea because I had never known anything else. All I knew was I was going to be a doctor, and that's it. I knew as a kid I enjoyed writing and I enjoyed arts and crafts, and I would love painting, and I would love anything to do with my hands, and I loved talking to people. But I was a very shy, very timid child, and I was terrified of people. So I knew talking to people as a profession was just out of the question for right now because I didn't have the balls to go and have a conversation with someone. So and then I was like, what am I going to do, right? My parents have this expectation of me to be a doctor, and here I am. I broke this expectation. And how do I handle the aftermath of someone else's upset, someone else's disappointment, someone else's not being approved by someone else? And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter at the end of the day what someone else thinks of you, what someone else expects from you, and what someone else wants from you. You are responsible for the quality of your life, and you're responsible for how you choose to live your life. If you're not being authentic to yourself, and if you're not happy with who you are and what you're doing, you can never omit and express and share happiness with anyone around you. You'll just bring those people down too. You'll just be a person who has a constant fake smile on their face, pretending like your life is perfect, and trying to find gratification through materialistic things to feel fulfilled. It sounds really, really harsh and really, really blunt, but that's the truth. When we are so caught up in other people's expectations of us, we can't be ourselves. How can we be ourselves? We have basically taken ourselves and we've killed ourselves, and we've become this new role that someone else wants us to be, and we step it and we live it and we breathe it and we pretend that's the real us. And you're following someone's expectations because you have to ask yourself, am I happy doing this? Am I happy with the person that I am today? And this is a very deep question. You need to ask yourself this in a moment of stillness, in a moment of clear sight. Ask yourself, am I happy with the person that I am today? Am I happy with my life today? Am I happy with the work that I'm doing today? If any of those questions are no, then you're more likely are living someone else's reality of your life and not your own reality. So if you need to make a phone call, if you need to tell someone that you want your life back and you want to live life on your terms, in the end, you'll be happier, but in the end, you'll be a stronger person. You'll have more courage, and you'll have a fucking amazing story to tell someone. Your future kids, your friend that you meet in 10 years, you don't know. You could write about this on a website, a blog. You don't know what could happen. A fucking amazing story to tell someone how you overcame something that you thought you couldn't overcome, and you defied all odds and went against someone else's expectation of you and decided to expect more from yourself and be more of yourself and truly live an authentic life filled with passion, filled with purpose, filled with excitement. And that's what I had to do. It kind of put my relationship with my parents on a turmoil per se, but now 5 years later, we have the most incredible relationship, and they've turned around. They may not understand what I do, they may not fully comprehend it, but they know that this makes me happy, and this is something that I thrive doing. I thrive helping people live a passionate and life of purpose where they feel fulfilled from the inside out and knowing that they're contributing their services, their gifts, their talent to the world, and they're stepping into their God-given magnificence and allowing themselves to be empowered by their message, by what makes them light up. And I hope you will do the same for yourself. If you have any questions, if you want to ask me a question, leave it in the comments below or feel free to email me. I'll leave my email in the description box below. And remember that expectations result in nothing in but disappointments. When we don't live up to someone's expectations, the person who has the expectation from us is disappointed. Our feelings, our thoughts about that can be changed and realize that we're just being true to ourselves. We're honoring ourselves and we're listening to our heart, listening to our intuition, or we're choosing to live a life that is authentically approved and we feel secure and safe in our own authentic expression. I hope this video served you well. Give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!